Have you got a property project that requires funding? Are you looking for a business partner, an angel investor to make that deal happen? Well, watch the rest of this video. I'm joined by John Howard, and we're going to tell you how you can get that funding and that business partner for your next property project. So the hit Sky TV show Property Elevator is back for a fourth series. We are filming on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of March. It's going to be televised in June time 2022. And if you want to enter and be on the show, raise your profile massively, win funding for your next property project, and get a business partner for your deal, then you're in the right place. We're going to tell you a little bit about how you can get on the show. The link is in the description below and on the screen. And I'm joined to help us out by my adversary on the show, John Howard, who is often pips me to the post to some of the juicy deals. John, how are you doing?
I'm very well, Ranjan.
What happened to your tie? You're always telling me about ties.
Tieless today. Well, I didn't want to embarrass you too much, to be honest with you. And thank you for the lovely words you've said, because normally you're a little bit more aggressive than that about me, especially when I'm sitting next to you on the show. Because of course it's a competition for us. You know, we are competitive people, and we want to fund the best deals. And as you know, I've got a reputation for not sharing on the show, whereas you're quite happy to share sometimes, aren't you?
Yes. I mean, sometimes. I mean, I think. Well, why not? Why not? I mean, John, you came up with the idea for this show a few years ago now. What was the ethos behind it?
Well, I just felt a bit like my joint venture fund that I've launched. You know, I've just felt that there's a lot of, I say young, they're not all young, are they? I mean, some of them are our age, Ranjan, which is great because the show is open to all ages. And that's what, you know, people must appreciate. It's open to all ages. There's a lot of, you know, ambitious property developers out there and investors who need a help. And, you know, they need a helping hand, be it through advice. They might have some money, but they want advice. And a partner, and you can't get better partners than you or me, can you really?
Well, there are 3 other angels on the show. We probably should mention them.
They're not on. Listen, they're not talking to us today. So far as I'm concerned, it's just you and me, Ranjan. You know.
Well, in fairness, it's John, myself, Nicholas Walwork, Helen Chorley, and Paul Mahoney, and we've all got a depth of experience in property, but with certainly different flavours to what we have done and the experiences and what we can bring to the party as a business partner. So it's not just funding, is it? That's the important thing.
No, I think, and what people say to me when they stop me and say, "Oh, you know, we watched the show, we love the show," is that even if people don't get the funding they're looking for to do the deal, they get told a lot of advice. They're given a lot of advice, and it's done in a nice way. It's not done in an aggressive way where they're going to be embarrassed or anything like that. Because of course, every deal that comes to us, not every deal that comes to us, is good enough to do.
Yes.
For us to invest into. I mean, you, Ranjan, you won't do anything outside London anyway. So if it's outside London, you might as well forget it if you want Ranjan, because you won't get him. Unless it's in Leicester, but he's done one deal in Leicester. I'm not sure he's going to do another one. Are you, Ranjan?
Well, we're doing a little bit around the Shire counties and the Midlands now. So branching out, definitely.
Is that why I had to be in Edinburgh the other day to do a deal, and I'm in Cardiff on Monday? Is that why?
I won't go to Scotland
probably because
or
you're
Wales.
doing all the others, is it? You're spreading out of London.
No, I won't do Scotland or Wales yet. But that's the beauty. I mean, people have come along in previous episodes and pitched deals in Ireland, and there've been people in the.
I mean, Paul's doing that deal. That deal in Ireland, Paul's doing. Yeah.
Yes. So it doesn't matter where it is, and I mean, I think what we are kind of. I think this is a fantastic opportunity. We've done 3 series so far, and so many deals has got funded, and people come on. It's not necessarily, and the great advantage of this show is we're filming on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of March, but the show doesn't get televised until June. So if you're looking to make an offer on a property, you've found a deal that is interesting, you can come along on the show and on the filming day. It's a safe environment, you know, no one's going to pinch your deal or whatever. And then you could go away with funding and a business partner to make your offer proposition on that deal far more stronger than it would ever be going in alone.
Far stronger, because we're proof funds for cash funds for a start, but also we may lay the deal out differently, so it's more profitable deal than they thought it was in the first place by organising it correctly and planning it correctly. So you're absolutely right, Ranjan. It's a great opportunity, for, I always say young people, because I always think but it isn't really for young people. I mean, look at the people and the profile of people we've had on the show, Ranjan. It's been from the age of 18, 19, right through to our age and beyond. Let's say that, shall we? Because that sounds a nice way.
I really take offence when you plonk me on with the our age thing, but I'll let that pass.
Well, I know I look younger than you, but I suppose I am a little bit older, am I?
A little bit.
That's surprising, but there we go.
But no, I mean, it's a safe environment. So even whether you own the property or you're looking to purchase the property, it's a place to find a partner. And
Ranjan, the other thing, I mean, I'm in touch with a lot of people who were on the show, but we didn't fund them. But they they still contact me with other deals going forward, and because I've met them, of course, I engage with them. So there's that as well. If you walk away without getting your deal funded, don't be too despondent, because it may just be the start of a very good relationship which will end up in you getting funding else on another day. So it's all there to be taken, isn't it? Really, it's all there.
So share with them some tips, John. I mean, when our folks come in and they're pitching a deal, give me 3 things that you're looking for that will float your boat and say, right, okay, I want to do this deal.
Well, I think the first thing is they need to be organised. We don't want a dossier. Well, Helen does. She wants a dossier of about 50 pages. I want a dossier of 1 page or 2 pages, because don't forget, we only have 5 minutes to look at the deal before you come in. We don't know who you are. We're not given any information about you. The producer chooses everyone that comes on the show, because that's only fair. Otherwise, if Ranjan knew them or I knew them, that would be unfair probably. So we don't know who's coming on. We don't know the deal until it's given to us, presented to us 5 minutes before you literally walk in. So don't do 50 pages. I would do 2 pages, wouldn't you, Ranjan? Maybe 3 at the most. Photographs are good. Bring the video. Obviously, the video will go up for us to look at as well. And just get your figures right, because if your figures aren't right, if you haven't got interest in there, if you haven't put the interest costs in there, or you haven't put the full costs in there, then we can't assess the damn thing properly. And Helen, if you haven't got the costs right, my goodness, if you can't add up, don't come, because I tell you what, or if you don't, I can't add up very well, but I have someone else check it. But make sure you have it checked, because Helen will find, if there's any sort of faults in your figures, she will find it. She is forensic. Remember, she worked in the city, Oxford University. This lady is seriously bright. So any figures, you have got problems. If it's a bit quirky, then Nicholas likes a bit quirky, doesn't he? He thinks outside the box. I'm very rigid, if you like, hard-nosed property developer. Nicholas sees things that I don't see, and Ranjan probably doesn't even see sometimes.
What do I see then?
Well, what I would say with you, Ranjan, you know exactly what you want, and you've done you're incredibly successful in doing exactly what you do. So you don't move away from your areas of expertise that much. Nicholas will move miles away to get a deal. Paul will move miles away. Paul's a true entrepreneur. He's not just a property man. He's hugely successful in his businesses. So he will look at things slightly different to I would. If there's any business element in it, like trading in terms of not retail, but anything slightly different, Paul will look at that, but I won't. I want to know what I can do, what we can do with the property. I want to know how quickly we can do it, because time is money. I don't want to be sat around for 2 years waiting for planning. I'm not interested. I want to know if it hasn't got planning, it can get planning quickly, and we can get on and make the money. I want my money back in 2 years. I don't want to be starting the project in 2 years' time. So that's me. Whereas, you are the expert on PD, permissive development, Ranjan, I would say, and I hate to say this to you really, but I think you are the expert. You are probably the most experienced and the most expert person there is in the country regarding PD. And that hurts me to say that sometimes to you, but congratulations, because I honestly think you are. And anything to do with PD, you know, you can wipe the floor with the rest of us if you want to do it. And I would say, if you don't want to do it, why am I going to want to do it? Because you know more about PD than I do. So, you know, all these things come into it. It's like Helen, you know, she knows more about figures and about financing than we do. So if she's cautious about something, makes me cautious, especially if I'm sitting next to her. So I might need to borrow her glasses, actually, because my eyesight's getting worse. And so make the print big. That's my third thing. Make the print big so we can bloody read it, because I don't want to wear my glasses.
So what we're talking about here is that when you come on the show, you apply to come on the show, and the producers will talk you through what you need to do.
Yeah.
And one of the things you do is present a little prospectus, if you like, about your
Yes.
deal. And what I'd recommend you do is obviously put all the figures in there, put some detail in there, but it can be as however many pages as you like. But I would put in a front page executive summary of no more than 1.5 pages.
Executive summary, that's very good, Ranjan. Yes.
So we can
That's
dive
what I'm
into the
trying to get.
detail, but the
Yeah.
executive summary needs to say the essence of what the deal is, what
Yes.
exactly you want from us, what we get out of it, the key risks and how you've mitigated them, you know, and when the project you think will be finished. You know,
Yes.
and if you can put a sentence in there about your background, that is pretty much the executive summary. Have I missed anything
Yeah.
out?
No, I don't think so, Ranjan. Apart, you just need to say that ideally try and sell it to John, because John's more keen to buy than everyone else.
Well, ignore that last bit. But anyway, we're all there to do business. I mean, this is the thing. I mean,
We are.
the other thing I say about the show is how the dynamic changes during the pitch. Because at first, the investor, the property developer that comes on the show, is pitching to us. And then
Absolutely.
if it's any good, there's a point where the whole dynamic changes,
It all
and it's
changes.
us
The
lot
shoe
in a
is
cat
on-
fight.
Absolutely, the shoe is on the other foot, and I almost look at it like when, you know, we all know each other, we're all friends, really. I get asked all the time, do you really dislike Ranjan? I said, no, I love Ranjan, he's great, until I walk in that room. And when I walk in that
only
room,
when I
he's
wear
my
a tie,
enemy.
though, isn't it?
He's my competitor. I want to beat him to the best deals. And that's exactly how it should be. It's professional, you know. Anything that's said in the room, and we can get quite heated sometimes. I mean, in the past we have got heated, haven't we, Ranjan? But when we walk out the room, it's all forgotten, and we go and have dinner. It is your turn to pay, by the way. It's always your turn to pay, because every time I get there, you say you're going to pay, and I end up paying. So I think you owe me about 4 dinners.
There's a huge amount of respect among the angels for each other and what they've done in property and all the rest of it.
Absolutely,
And,
absolutely.
I think that's why we can have a little bit of banter and a little bit of fun with this as well.
Sure, and it's got to be. You know, people say to me when they speak to me about the show, you know, it's very informative, but it's fun, and you know, there's some banter, and there's some, you know, we look happy, we look like we want to do deals, which we do, but and it's done in a professional way, but you can still do it with a smile on your face. And like you, Ranjan, all the way through my career, you know, it's got to be fun. If business isn't fun, then why do it? You know, and none of us need to do it. I mean, all due respect to all 5 of us, and I can speak for all 5 of us. Hopefully, we're successful enough that, you know, we're doing this because we want to do it and because it's fun. We're not doing it to upsell you anything or anything silly like that. We're trying to sell ourselves to you, in as much that, you know, we've got some funds and we want to invest.
It's unique, really. I mean, it's a chance
It is unique, yeah.
I mean, people who come on the show, no matter what happens, and I'll tell you something, you know, I mean, when I look back at season 3 in particular, every deal where people have been basically likable, that's a key thing. And
do you know, that's one, I would just say that, Ranjan, how important is that?
Yes.
You know, you've got to like the person you're going to invest with. You're going to work together. And if you don't like each other to start with, then my God, you've got no chance, have you? So, you know, being likable, smiling, being likable, that's what it's about.
And because we want to work with people who are likable. You know, we don't want...
and easy to work with. If they're a pain in the arse, you don't want to work with them, do you?
That's exactly right. And then, of course, the numbers are so important. I mean, obviously, all of us will work with people where we can actually bring something to the party apart from just money.
Yes,
That's a key thing.
absolutely.
And we can really
Yeah,
add value to it,
yeah.
get more success out of the
If they
deal than if we weren't involved.
if they just want my money and no help, then it's no good to me. No good to me. And that might sound strange, but that's just how I work. You know, I want to be involved. I don't want to just shove some money in and be told, oh well, you know, you'll get it back in 2 years' time. I want to be involved.
Exactly.
I want to help and be involved. Yeah.
And that involvement is you know, it's not putting our oars in. It's about adding value that would not have been added had we not been involved. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, and of course, for all of us, that is different. All five of us, that is different. And our risk level is different. So Helen would be more on the cautious side. To be fair to her, she's not here to defend herself, but I believe she is because of her background. You've got Nicholas, who's quite ballsy. You've got Paul, I think, can be very ballsy on certain things, but only on certain things. Similar to Nicholas, really. You are fairly cautious, but you come from an accountancy type background. You're pretty cautious on what you do, but very thorough. And I would say that I'm somewhere in the middle. I've seen a lot, like we're the most too experienced. So we've seen most of it all before, and we've survived recessions before. And we can see, because of that, someone else might see something as a worry and a problem. We don't see that because we've been through it, or we've experienced that before, that problem before. So that does help. Mm-hmm. So we've all got different levels of tolerance, if you like, in any deal, and that's good because if it's a bit lively and a bit risky, Paul might be the one to give it a go, you know, or Nicholas rather than us. Or if there's a lot of construction, a lot of building work, may not suit you, Ranjan, or Paul, but it might suit me more. So that's why we're looking for a very varied investments and development opportunities, because you know we will unlikely to get all five of us wanting one deal. It does happen on occasions, doesn't it?
It has happened once so far that all five of us have picked one deal. And it gets quite heated when two or three of us want the same deal.
Oh yes, it gets very competitive and a bit personal, if I may say so, sometimes, Ranjan, as well. I think I won't quote you one or two things you've said in the past because I'm over it now. I'm over it.
Oh, have I offended you?
I'm not going to open up that can of worms again.
Oh well, I'm glad I've forgotten those. So yes, it's important to be it's important to be likable. It's important to have a clear and not over optimistic view of your figures.
I think that's a really good point as well, Ranjan. You know, be honest with your figures, and also have a letter or something, if you can, from an agent that backs it up. You know, have someone back up what you're saying, because that gives us more confidence. You're trying to give us enough confidence to say yes there and then. Remember, we're only just seen this deal, so we have to make our mind up very quickly. We can do that because we're experienced. But the more information you can give in the most simplest way, and information that looks reliable and trustworthy, is important.
So if you want to get your project funded, your property project funded, you need to be available either on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of March. The closing dates for applications is February the 24th. The link is on the description below and on the screen here. Just fill in that form. The producers will be in touch and will give you all the instructions for the next steps. Now, people that have been on the show, I should say that in season 3, 65% of the deals which were presented to us got an offer of funding. So there is a phenomenally high success rate for people. And it's also great for people to raise their profile, isn't it, in the world of social media. John, are you on TikTok?
Well, apparently I'm going on TikTok. My daughter Ruby, who's come on board, she's left being a lawyer to come and join me. It's amazing, to do my social media and all my sorts of. And apparently TikTok is on the agenda. Apparently.
I look forward to seeing you.
I really know what it is, but
I look forward to seeing you lip sync and dance to some of the hits. Perhaps My House from Madness will be a good one for you to do.
Could be. You never know.
No, but seriously, I mean, people have appeared on the previous shows. I mean, these videos on YouTube and being on Sky and all of that, they get a lot of watches. And it
Yeah.
does so much for people's credibility and their CV, their property CV.
Well, it does, and also, of course, you know, we're almost giving them the sort of recommendation that they're reliable and they're decent and so on, and they're going on and getting funding, private funding elsewhere on other deals as well, because they've been on the show and because they know us and so on, which is fine. You know, if we can help you along the way, that's what the show's about, really, isn't it? We don't need to do any deals. We do the deals because we're deal junkies and we love doing deals. That's the truth, isn't it, really?
Yes.
And it's fun. And if we can help people along their property journeys, we're happy to do so.
Absolutely. John, thanks very much for joining us. Looking forward to doing battle with you when we film this thing on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and hope we can still be friends afterwards.
We will always be friends. It's a bit like when someone says, "Oh, can we stay friends when they split up?" Isn't it? Of course we'll be friends. You haven't got to worry about that, Ranjan.
And you guys, if you want to join the party, as I said, 1st, 2nd and 3rd of March, and get your applications in by 24th of February. And hopefully, if you're lucky and the producers like you and all of that, you'll be on the show and pitching your deal to us. John, thanks very much for joining me.
Pleasure.
And see you guys later.